Hi, everyone. I'm Rich Leimsider from the AI for Nonprofits Sprint, and I'm here today to share another example of how AI can be used to serve the mission of what we're all here to do. But today I'm going to share something a little different. I want to show you an example of the ways that some of our clients may actually already be using AI, frankly, with or without our guidance. I think, as we all know, many of our organizations are able to provide high quality professional support to individuals and communities in need. And we also know that many of the things we do, we cannot actually provide to all the people who need them. And so one of those examples is legal services. It is not a guess, it is a fact put out by study after study that in the state of New York, the kinds of legal services that are provided for free, particularly civil legal services, things outside of a criminal court, the free legal services cover only a fraction of what folks in the state of New York would actually need. And so today I want to show you a little example of something that in an ideal world, uh, our legal services clients or any one of our clients at our agencies might have the opportunity to sit down with a real person and get help for. But in the actual world, the people that we're supporting are increasingly reaching out to tools like generative AI, tools like a ChatGPT to get support. So here's an example of something that a client might be typing in right now. And even though I'm sharing this example completely in English and typing in the prompt, the situation in English, the fact of the matter is that these AI tools, whether it's ChatGPT or Gemini from Google or Microsoft's Copilot, these AI tools can pretty much handle input in a lot of different languages. So we could have clients typing things in Mandarin, in Haitian Creole, in Spanish, and getting support, getting output in pretty good English. In this case, I typed in a situation. Hi, I've received a letter from my landlord threatening eviction. I know I actually have some tenant protections in New York City, but it might take me a while to sit down with a lawyer to get some help. Can you just help me write a letter that sounds official and can get the landlord off my back so I have some way to respond to that landlord? Now, you could certainly imagine working in your nonprofits, finding ways for paralegals and others to support clients doing this kind of thing, things that are not, in fact, direct legal support. Obviously, anything that is legal advice is, closely regulated and carefully protected. But when you're supporting clients doing things like just writing letters, responding things, but I also want you to see what clients, people in the community may be doing for themselves. So this says, hey, I got an eviction letter. Can you help me write a letter in response? It immediately drafts a business looking letter. It actually is not compromising anybody's privacy or confidentiality. Note there's nothing specific to a particular community member in this conversation. It hasn't asked for their home address, their name, their immigration status. There's nothing that could potentially compromise them or put them at risk in this generic conversation. It's sort of like calling a hotline and saying, I'm asking for a friend. Dear landlord's name, I'm writing in response to your recent letter. I must emphasize the following points. You have to give me notice. I have the right to representation, et cetera, et cetera. So it sort of writes a generic letter that if someone wanted, they could use to respond to a landlord. And then I said, actually, you know what? Ask me some questions about the situation and then rewrite the letter. Because remember, when you're working with an AI tool, it never runs out of patience. You don't only get one crack or one draft. So it says here are some questions that would actually have helped me better understand your situation. What is the reason the landlord is giving? Tell me a little bit about your payment history, condition of the property. It asks a whole bunch of pretty relevant questions. It isn't a real person, so I get to answer very briefly. I don't have to ask any questions about, how their kids are doing. Just yes, no, yes, yes. And then it actually gives me a new draft, or gives this potential client a new draft with much more specific information about the case at hand. So again, this isn't to say this is actually great advice or information right now. There may be ways that we could work with something like this with staff, with clients, but it is important to understand what's happening out there in the community as we speak.